Hi, I'm Felicity. After 30 years of working as an executive assistant at Brookfield Financial, I never imagined I'd be sitting in my modest apartment, staring at a final notice. The company had downsized, and despite my loyalty, I was among the first to go. My savings wouldn't last much longer. Have you called Nathan yet? Maya asked, stirring her coffee across from me. My best friend since college always spoke her mind. I sighed. 3 times this week, straight to voicemail. That's not right, Fel. After everything you did for that boy, worked 2 jobs after Richard left, paid for his fancy business degree. He's busy, I'm sure. Even as I defended him, my voice faltered. Maya's eyebrows shot up. Too busy for his own mother when she needs help? That penthouse downtown isn't paying for itself. I saw pictures of his new yacht on Instagram, I admitted, my hands trembling slightly. He tagged it #self-made. Maya nearly choked. #self-made? You mortgaged your house for his first business. The doorbell rang, interrupting her tirade. It was Patricia from 3B, clutching an envelope. This was delivered to me by mistake, she said, handing it over. Looked important. After she left, I opened the letter. It's from Howard Blackwell, Nathan's CFO. What does it say? Maya leaned forward. Mrs. Reynolds, I've worked with your son for 5 years. We need to talk about funds he's been diverting from investor accounts, including yours. Meet me tomorrow at Riverside Cafe, 2 p.m. Come alone. Maya's eyes widened. Your retirement account? The one Nathan said he'd manage for you? He promised it would grow enough to cover me if anything happened. My voice cracked. Said I'd never have to worry. And now you're 3 months behind on rent while he's posting yacht photos? Maya grabbed her phone. I'm looking him up right now. Let's see. His company reported record profits last quarter. He just bought a vacation home in Aspen. There must be a misunderstanding, I whispered. But doubt had firmly taken root. Call him again, Maya insisted. Right now. Put it on speaker. I dialed, hands shaking. For the first time in weeks, he answered. Mom, I'm about to head into a meeting. What's up? His voice sounded irritated, impatient. Nathan, I've been trying to reach you. I lost my job 3 months ago and, yeah, I saw your messages. Look, I'm really swamped right now. Maybe tighten your budget? Cut back on luxuries? Maya's face flushed with anger as I replied, Nathan, I'm about to be evicted. I need to access some of my retirement fund. A long pause. That's not possible right now. The investments are locked in a complex portfolio. Taking money out would incur massive penalties. But it's my money, I said, my voice strengthening, and I need it now. Mom, I built this company from nothing. I can't just... From nothing? Maya interjected loudly. Your mother gave you everything. Who's that? Are you recording this? Nathan's voice turned cold. I have to go. Nathan, please. But he had already hung up. Maya put her arm around me as I stared at the phone. That letter from Howard, she said quietly. I think you should meet him tomorrow. I nodded slowly, something hardening inside me. Yes, I said. I think I should. The Riverside Cafe buzzed with lunchtime chatter as Howard Blackwell slid into the seat across from me. Thin, nervous, and constantly adjusting his glasses, he couldn't have been more different from my confident son. Mrs. Reynolds, thank you for coming, he said, glancing over his shoulder. I don't have much time. Call me Felicity, and please explain what you meant about my accounts. Howard pulled out a tablet. Nathan created a holding company that manages several investment funds, including your retirement account. On paper, everything looks legitimate, but... He swiped through several documents. These transactions show he's been systematically draining smaller accounts to fund his lifestyle and prop up failing ventures. My stomach tightened. How much is left of my retirement fund? Howard wouldn't meet my eyes. Less than 10%. The cafe seemed to spin around me. That's impossible. That was nearly $500,000. I've been gathering evidence for months, Howard continued. Your son has done this to at least 30 other investors, mostly family friends and relatives who trusted him. Why are you telling me this? I asked, studying his nervous demeanor. The SEC is investigating. I don't want to go down with him. Howard pushed a flash drive across the table. Everything's here. Financial records, emails, recorded conversations. Nathan's been forging signatures, including yours. As I pocketed the drive, a familiar voice called out, "Felicity? What a coincidence!" Robert Chen, Nathan's business partner, approached our table with a broad smile that faltered when he saw Howard. "Am I interrupting something?" Robert asked, his friendly tone now cautious. Howard stood abruptly. "I need to go. Think about what I said, Mrs. Reynolds." After Howard left, Robert sat down uninvited. "What was that about?" "Just catching up with an old acquaintance," I lied. Robert's eyes narrowed. "Howard's been acting strange lately. You know, your son and I have built something remarkable. Nathan has a gift for creative financing." "Creative financing?" I repeated. "Maximizing returns," Robert clarified, smiling tightly. "He's learned to prioritize opportunities." "Like his yacht? Or his Aspen home?" I couldn't keep the edge from my voice. Robert's smile disappeared. "Nathan works hard for what he has." "What about my retirement fund? Has he worked hard managing that too?" Robert leaned forward. "Listen, Felicity. Nathan mentions you sometimes. Says you never understood business, always thinking small. Whatever Howard told you, he's disgruntled, about to be fired." "For what? Honesty?" I challenged. "For disloyalty," Robert replied coldly. "Nathan rewards loyalty above all. Remember that." After Robert left, I called Maya immediately. "He threatened me," I told her. "Not directly, but the message was clear." "What are you going to do?" she asked. "I'm calling Detective Garcia," I said firmly. "Remember her? Helped with that charity event last year? She specializes in financial crimes." 2 hours later, I sat in Detective Garcia's office, the flash drive connected to her computer. "This is substantial evidence of fraud," she said, her experienced eyes scanning the documents. "But we'll need more to build a solid case. Are you willing to wear a wire?" "To record my own son?" I hesitated. "He stole your life savings, Felicity," Detective Garcia said gently. "How many others has he done this to?" I thought of the 30 other investors Howard mentioned. My neighbors, my friends. "What do I need to do?" I asked. "Set up a meeting. Act concerned but not accusatory. Get him talking about your investments specifically. He'll be suspicious if I suddenly want to meet," I said, thinking aloud. "But his birthday is next week. He never misses a chance to be celebrated." Detective Garcia nodded. "Perfect. We'll have everything ready by then." "I'll help too," Maya said, squeezing my hand. "Whatever you need." As I left the police station, my phone rang. Olivia, Nathan's wife. "Felicity, Nathan mentioned you called about financial problems," she said, her voice dripping with rehearsed concern. "We'd love to help, but with the new yacht maintenance and the Aspen property taxes—" I cut her off. "Actually, Olivia, I was hoping to surprise Nathan for his birthday next week. A small family dinner?" "Oh," she sounded relieved. "Of course, I'm sure he'd love that." "Perfect," I said, a plan forming clearly now. "I'll take care of everything." The private dining room at Le Bistro glowed with soft lighting as Nathan arrived, Olivia on his arm. He kissed my cheek perfunctorily. "Mom, this is unexpected. Quite the venue for someone with financial concerns," he remarked, eyeing the upscale surroundings. "I wanted to do something special for your birthday," I replied, touching the wire taped to my ribs. "I've been saving for months." "How thoughtful," Olivia murmured, adjusting her diamond necklace. Maya arrived moments later, followed by Robert, whose invitation had been Nathan's idea, no doubt to ensure I didn't say anything uncomfortable. As champagne was poured, Nathan raised his glass. "To success, which comes to those who seize opportunity. And to family," I added pointedly, "who support each other through thick and thin." Nathan's smile tightened. "Of course." Once seated, I steered the conversation carefully. "Nathan, I've been thinking about my retirement situation. Perhaps we could discuss accessing some of those funds?" "Mom not here," he said sharply. "Why not?" I persisted. Everyone here knows you manage my money. I'd like to understand why I can't access it when I need it. Robert intervened. Felicity, complex investments require patience. I've been patient for 5 years, I interrupted. Now I need some answers. For instance, why was my signature on withdrawal authorizations I never signed? The table fell silent. Nathan's face darkened. Where did you hear that? He demanded. I have copies of the documents, I replied calmly, along with records of transfers from my account to Nautilus Holdings. Interesting coincidence that Nautilus purchased your yacht. Nathan laughed dismissively. Mom, you clearly don't understand how investment structures work. Then explain it to me, I challenged. Explain how my life savings became your plaything. You gave me permission to manage those funds, he hissed. I've been growing your investment by emptying my account? By forging my signature? My voice remained steady. By doing the same to 30 other people who trusted you? Olivia looked between us, confusion clouding her features. Nathan, what is she talking about? Nothing, he snapped. My mother is confused and bitter because I've been successful. Is it confusion when I have documentation? I asked, sliding a folder across the table. Copies of everything, every transaction, every forgery. Nathan snatched the folder, flipping through it with increasing agitation. Where did you get these? He demanded. Howard. It was Howard, wasn't it? That little rat. Does it matter? Maya interjected. Those are Felicity's accounts you drained. I made you, Nathan seethed, turning to me. Everything I know about business, every connection I have, it started with you. You owe me. I owe you? The absurdity almost made me laugh. I gave you everything, and when I needed help, you couldn't even return my calls. You should be proud, he insisted. Look what I've built. On theft and fraud, I countered. I am many things, Nathan, but I will never be proud of that. His face contorted with rage. You ungrateful! He stood abruptly, knocking over his chair. You think you can threaten me? I'll destroy you before I let you ruin what I've built. Nathan! Olivia gasped. She's recording this, he suddenly realized, eyes wild. Aren't you? You're wearing a wire. He lunged across the table, grabbing my blouse. Robert jumped up to restrain him, but Nathan shoved him away, sending Robert crashing into a waiter. Give it to me, Nathan shouted, trying to reach inside my jacket. Detective Garcia emerged from the adjacent room. Nathan Reynolds, that's enough. 2 officers appeared behind her as Nathan froze, his hand still clutching my blouse. Nathan Reynolds, you're under arrest for financial fraud, forgery, and assault, Detective Garcia announced. You have the right to remain silent. As the officers handcuffed my son, he stared at me with pure hatred. You'll regret this, he spat. I'll make sure you never see a penny. I already haven't, I replied softly. The difference is now, neither will you. The courtroom buzzed with whispers as the judge entered. 4 months had passed since Nathan's arrest, and today was sentencing day. I sat between Maya and Detective Garcia, watching my son in his tailored suit, somehow looking confident despite everything. All rise, called the bailiff. The proceedings moved quickly. The evidence had been overwhelming. Not just my accounts, but dozens of others. The prosecution had discovered even more victims after Nathan's arrest. Mr. Reynolds, the judge addressed my son, you have been found guilty of 27 counts of fraud, forgery, and embezzlement. Your actions have destroyed lives, depleted retirement savings, and betrayed the trust of those closest to you. Nathan stared straight ahead, expressionless. I sentence you to 12 years in federal prison and order restitution of all stolen funds, totaling $4.7 million. A collective gasp filled the courtroom. As Nathan was led away, he locked eyes with me briefly. No remorse, only cold fury. Outside, reporters swarmed us. Mrs. Reynolds, how does it feel to know your son will be in prison because of your testimony? One shouted. He's there because of his actions, not mine, I replied firmly. Later, at a small cafe with Maya and Detective Garcia, I finally allowed myself to exhale. The restitution process will take time. Garcia explained. But with his assets seized, there's a good chance you'll recover most of your savings. What about the others? I asked. Same for them. The receiver is already liquidating his properties. Maya squeezed my hand. That penthouse will make a nice addition to the victim compensation fund. My phone rang. Olivia. I hesitated before answering. Felicity? Her voice sounded hollow. Can we talk? 20 minutes later, she joined us, shadows under her eyes. I had no idea, she began, twisting her now bare ring finger. I'm selling everything I can to add to the restitution fund. You're not responsible for his actions, I said. No, but I benefited from them. She slid a folder across the table. I found these in his home office safe. Offshore accounts the investigators missed. Detective Garcia leaned forward. This is extremely helpful, Olivia. I filed for divorce yesterday, Olivia continued. And he asked me to give you a message. He said if you visit him, he can explain everything. That he's sorry. I shook my head. I don't need his explanations or apologies. He seemed to think you'd forgive him eventually, Olivia said. Family ties and all that. Some ties aren't meant to be repaired, I replied. Some betrayals run too deep. 2 weeks later, I received a letter from the prison. I recognized Nathan's handwriting immediately. Are you going to read it? Maya asked as we packed donations for a financial literacy workshop we'd started for fraud victims. I tossed the unopened letter into the recycling bin. No, that chapter is closed. Do you ever regret turning him in? She asked cautiously. I paused, considering the question. I regret having to. I regret that he became someone who would steal from his own mother. But I don't regret holding him accountable. Detective Garcia arrived with coffee. Good news. The first restitution checks should arrive next month. It was never about the money, I said quietly. It was about justice, Garcia finished for me. Speaking of which, would you consider talking at our fraud prevention seminar? Your story could help others come forward. I looked around at the community we'd built from the wreckage of Nathan's crimes. Other victims who had become friends, supporting each other through the aftermath. I'd be honored, I replied. As we continued working, I felt lighter than I had in months. My son had betrayed me in the worst possible way, and I would never forgive what he'd done. But in seeking justice, I'd found something unexpected. Strength I never knew I had, and a new purpose helping others protect themselves. You know what I've learned from all this? I asked Maya and Garcia. What's that? Maya prompted. Sometimes the greatest act of love isn't forgiveness. Sometimes it's accountability. Have you ever had to hold someone you loved accountable for their actions? What would you have done in my situation?